All right, so here we go. We got the cylinder prepped. I have roughed up the intake a little bit right there. Got it really nice and clean. No oily residue on there. I used that stuff. And you may or may not be able to see, but I've got tape on the back side of this. And I just simply take, see if I can do this, the JB Weld and put her down in there. A little bit of a sloppy way of doing things because I've got this camera. I'm sure that's way too much. But the great thing about JB Weld is it comes out really easy. That will actually settle and flow. You see that backside there? We're good. So that's how you raise the roof, or I'm sorry, raise the floor of your intake. I'm going to go ahead and stop this camera so that I can use both hands and stuff. And I'm going to smooth that out just a little bit more with my popsicle stick. And then it's just a waiting game. And then tomorrow we'll come back in here and we'll cut it up and get the intake floor. We'll probably do 78 on the intake floor. That's what we'll do. Probably. Okay, it is the next day. We're going to remove our tape. Ta-da! What we see is a nice wall of JB Weld. So we're going to cut into it just real quick here so you can see and have an idea where I'm going with it. All right, so we are finished up there. See it? Let me show you here. So what we have is 76. And I think I'm going to leave it right there. My upper transfers open at 120? No, 125. 125. And so with a intake opening at 76 means it's also closing at 76, right? And so that gives us 49 degrees of crankcase compression, right? From the time that it closes, boop, the intake closes, to the time that the transfers up top open, they open at 125. So we got 49 degrees of crankcase compression. Why do we need crankcase compression? Because on saws with great big voluptuous bottom ends, big old asses, right? The crankcase is got too much volume. And so what we have to do is we have to squeeze it in order to get it to flow fast. Otherwise it goes boop. If you recall my Poland 4000, whenever I was building that, I noticed that it had what seemed to be a large crankcase volume. It also had really big, voluptuous, open transfer ports. And so I was like, it's got a lot of crankcase volume. And I kept the, I gave it a lot of blowdown. Back then I was looking at it by blowdown. Blowdown ain't got shit to do with it. It's about crankcase volume. Now, blowdown helps a lot of us to think about it, to think about what's going on, but in reality, no power is gained through higher or lower blowdown. It is all directly tied to your intake closing and your upper transfers opening and the amount of time that you can compress it. Saws like the 550 XP don't need much time, much crankcase pressure. They don't need much at all. So therefore, they can get by with like 30 degrees of crankcase pressure. 35 degrees maybe, something like that. They're typically, the blowdown on those things is like really crazy. Small, crazy short. But the reality is it doesn't have much at all to do with the blowdown. It has everything to do with crankcase compression. At least that's the way I see it, and that's the way I've been learning it and everything. So we're going to call it, well, we're not done with porting this. I am going to open up, I think I'm going to open up the lower transfers side to side and make sure that they match up with the top of the piston. Not the top of the piston, but the top of the windows. I'm going to make sure all that matches up, and the width of the windows on the piston, make sure it all matches up right here, and then that's it. Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm even going to do that with matching up the width. It'll go in there. I want to hold off on the width thing, but I am going to go ahead and hit the top of the transfers, the top of the bottom of the transfers, to make sure that that piston's not dropping below that, and I want it to stay open as long as possible. But that's it. That's it. Might blend in those lowers a little bit, might not, I don't know. But anyways, there you have it.